When I was a kid, I remember there was a gun in a family member's house. It was above the stove, kept near a box of pot.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Jericho AFK. My name is Jericho, and today we've got hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. I'm excited to get into this. I've only done this where I've loaded the indoor range, and as you can see, well, we are very much inside an indoor range.
Did I know this because, like every kid, I snooped. I used to hold it and would sometimes put my finger on the trigger, running how much pressure it would take to pull it.
So I'm just gonna knock this thing back to about 12 feet and forget to plug in my headset. So this is what I mean by a realistic gun model. As you can see, we are in a gun range, but we have a realistic model with, we've got wear and tear, some scratches on there, as well as the strap holders. What am I gonna call those?
I have no idea to this day if it was ever loaded, and I've never thought to ask. I don't like guns in my middle age. I never have. I think they're fun in video games and in fantasy settings, but the few times I've gone to a range, I've felt a deep sense of unease.
Hey, it doesn't matter. So we moved that back to 28 feet because I'm going to show you can use the iron sight just by grabbing it and looking down the sight. It does work. Taking it off, swapping it for a scope. Now the scope, obviously, does what scopes are supposed to do.
This is a machine I'm holding that has been precision crafted to do damage to other physical objects. And I don't have a problem with target shooting or hunting, and of course the human condition makes things like war inevitable, but in terms of my day-to-day life as someone who lives in Cincinnati, Ohio, a gun in the home makes me feel less safe, not more.
And then we're gonna take it off safety. All right, and I guess we have single fire, and then we're gonna make sure that paddle or whatever, I don't know what that is, make sure it's in there, and then I'm gonna just shoot.
I also know that in some circles that's considered a radical stance. I never realized how little I understood how guns work when it comes to their actual physical components until I played this demo. I spent more time than I would have thought was possible just trying to figure out how to get the assault rifle to fire. And I get that even the words assault rifle are political. It's a long gun, it's a rifle, it's whatever. I don't know how it works. I fumbled with it. I didn't know where the pieces went. I still don't know what the little fiddly bit on the side did. When you get rid of the magazine or the clip or whatever it's called, I'm sure people will correct me in the comments. It can still fire once you have that bullet in there.
So, you know, the scope obviously works. You're probably like, hey, full auto, do it! I mean, I didn't even have a sight. Why did I look down the sight?
It scared the shit out of me when this happened in the game. The audio was up a little bit too loud for it to be comfortable. So as I'm sitting here trying to connect things and pulling and pushing on things and pumping the trigger to try to figure out the magical array of things that would make it fire, and it actually went off, it felt like the gun fired, even with just this small amount of haptic feedback.
I'm gonna grab a handgun though. We've got ourselves, what is this, a 5.7? I don't know. I don't play anything but Counter-Strike. Okay, we should be good. I wonder if I have to take this off safety? I don't know.
It was loud enough to make my ears ring, and I found it scary. A gun model this quote-unquote realistically isn't fun. I'm not enjoying this.
So, I mean, I think that's really awesome. The fact that this is a realistic simulation of weapons, pretty cool. Indoor shooting range, awesome. Just, you miss the heft. You don't get the heft of the weapon. Kind of takes you out a little bit. I'm interested to see if somebody doesn't build a plastic gun model where you can just physically, put your controllers in there and rest it across your chest, kind of like an airsoft weapon would be. That could be interesting as well.
The game is called Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades, and it's an early access game on Steam. It's billed as a sort of VR sandbox, and it's successful at that. It's interesting to get a chance to quote-unquote play with these things, but From my point of view, I'm not sure if this is a place I really want to spend a lot of time.